Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're here on the No Line podcast. Today's guest is Angela HanLee from Bloomberg.
Hello, my name is Angela, and I'm the APAC gaming analyst at Bloomberg Intelligence, which is the research arm of Bloomberg. Thank you for having me here.
Angela, thank you. It's nice to have you here. We're at G2E Macau, and it's been a good event. There's a lot of energy here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk. You were talking about Asian trends earlier today in your presentation. You were moderating a session.
Yeah.
Within the Asian trends, there seems to be a lot of buzz at G2E Macau. One of the big topics of buzz seems to be Thailand.
Yeah. So good to be here in Macau again for G2E Asia, and then everything is very energetic here. So as you say, Thailand is a very important market because it has been in talk maybe for some years, and finally we are seeing there is some advancement. Of course, there are some uncertainties going around, but we feel like maybe if there is casino in Thailand, there can be some competition for the whole region as well. That's why I think everyone is here asking what is happening in Thailand.
Yeah, so it's almost like those countries really curious about Thailand might be Vietnam, Cambodia, probably UAE, Middle East.
Yeah.
But even that, probably Japan is a little bit curious too because it was anticipated that Japan was going to be next.
Yeah. Sure, but it looks like Japan's opening is going beyond 2030, and it's also in North Asia. So I feel like Japan is maybe like a more competition with Korea and Macau maybe. That's what we are talking about. But I think I can come back to this issue later. Japan is a good market. Locals are much rich than other places. But I think about the Thailand and UAE is more about the Southeast Asian market, creating competition for maybe like Cambodia, Vietnam, and Philippines. And UAE is maybe like they want to gain more market share, not only from China, but they also want to attract some other gamblers, maybe even from India, I think.
Angela, it seems like there's many different dynamics to this conversation and to Thailand.
Yeah.
I think one topic is getting launched.
Yeah.
The other one is getting launched and doing it right. And that means regulation and meeting all the requirements, say, for your developer who's investing billions.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be saying that Thailand could probably do it quickly.
Yeah.
But what else needs to happen for Thailand to do it right?
So when we study about like other markets nearby, we know that Vietnam has been a pretty tough market because foreigners cannot gamble for many casinos there. So I'm thinking for Thailand, given that we are expecting like investors to invest billions of money, as you said, if they want to invest their money, they need some stability. Think about we cannot afford having another pandemic. So for that sense, I think it's very important that like regulators maybe have to pay more attention on allowing locals to gamble as well. Maybe locals or maybe expats, at least they should have some kind of solid market to make break even at its own market. If they have foreigners, it's extra thing. You cannot rely on foreigners to let the casino to make money. So that's one thing. And the other is that I'm thinking maybe Thailand, if they have the casino billions level, it can be a very, very big. That means they can have some competition for other countries, maybe like Vietnam and Cambodia, because you think there is no much cluster effect in Vietnam market. So say what makes different Macau is not just because they have big casinos, it's also because big casinos are in walkable distance. They are next to each other. So say like one gambler or one traveler came to Sands and walk around, try their luck. If they were unlucky, they can try their luck in other places, right? But that's also what makes the Macau to have gamblers staying longer and coming more frequently. But like Vietnam, I think they have several casinos, but they are very geographically scattered. That is creating a bit problematic because, they just cannot retain the clients there. Maybe that's my feeling. So I guess the Thailand comes with their own casino plan. I'm not sure if they want to have like a one casino per city or what, but this is also have to be considered like whether they want to create this cluster effect.
Sometimes there's a benefit to coming later. So what can Thailand maybe learn from what Cambodia and what Vietnam did? What can they learn to change and do it differently to be more successful? What can they do different?
So one is about like allowing locals to gamble. We also don't want to let like all people to go to gamble. Responsible gaming is very, very important. So there are a lot of hurdles, like, you want to see whether they have enough income or something like that. But we obviously need this type of things that allowing locals to gamble. There was also kind of something that we raised during the panel discussions. The second thing is about the tax rate. You cannot have too high tax rates. Macau has like a pretty high tax rate because it's already like a well-established market. But for others, if you want to start a new business and you want to give some, like a benefit to these billions, like people investing billions of dollars, then you cannot have higher tax rate than many other countries. That's something that you have to learn, I think. Tax rate plus the making like a locals to gamble. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, for example, Vietnam, the locals cannot.
For many, they cannot. I think only Corona is allowing locals to gamble, and maybe another one is coming. But for many, like a Hot Tram or others you are aware of, they don't allow locals to gamble right now. Yeah.
What are some other, in the talks we've been hearing in G2E Macau, a lot of those sessions were planned before.
Yes.
And sometimes things change so quickly.
Yeah.
What are some of the hottest topics you're hearing about right now, today,
yes,
at G2E, even if they're not part of a session?
Yeah.
What kind of hot topics are you hearing?
I'm thinking that maybe the hot topic is about like China's slowdown. Economic growth is slowing down. So, Chinese people has been like a big growth driver for Macau gaming here. But obviously Macau government is also trying to diversify away from gaming industry here. But still, like Chinese people spend money. So given that like the economy is slowing down, then what is happening? So can we still make money from Chinese coming out? But at least we see that China's outbound tourism is picking up pretty healthily this year. So last year, after China's reopening, everyone was like Chinese will come out, but they have not been coming out. They were all spending domestically. They've been traveling a lot domestically. Partially because they don't want to spend that much money. The other is actually because like a flight availability. There were so many bottlenecks in the supply side. But this year, we are seeing much more supply of flights, much more flights available. And you know what? Like a Chinese people annual leave is like 5 days. That's why,
5 days.
Yeah, that's why
Annual
it's like it's kind of required, but many people will only have 5 days of annual leave. So they have a lot, they rely a lot on the like a golden week, holidays. They want to make the best out of their holidays.
So either they stay home and have 5 quality days,
or
maybe they go.
So like in China, there is like a golden week thing. So the government encourages you to have longer holidays, but the annual leave is not that big. So that means that maybe they have as many holidays as others. I don't know, but at least it's very concentrated into those holiday season. Golden weeks, like a Lunar New Year and maybe labor holidays and then October Golden Week. So this flight bottleneck is very important when everything gets more expensive during holidays and you only want to travel like longer things there. So I guess this has been a bottleneck last year, but this year we are seeing much more flights. That's why we are seeing the recovery of China outbound tourism coming much faster. So say, before we thought, like maybe months ago, we thought Chinese people will start going out, but may take time. They might be going to Thailand, Japan first, but if they want to reach to Europe to do shopping, it might be maybe like a fourth quarter of this year. But according to our BI survey that we conducted in April, we already see that the people are traveling a lot outside. And then Europe is already seeing like a Chinese tourists returning. So it also combines with that like visa-free policies from Singapore and Thailand and others. So on that sense, I will say maybe China's economic growth is slowing, but at least we are seeing that the leisure demand is pretty strong. Yeah.
What other interesting trends out of Asia? Any other interesting trends that should be paid attention to?
Well, out of Asia, I would say maybe outside the North Asia, I would say UAE market, because there is going to be casino there as well. But what I found very interesting was like when I visited Singapore weeks ago and I attended like a conference there, what they say is that I realized that actually, you know what, the top destination for Indians is actually UAE. So, you know, like, and we all know the Indian market is booming. Indian economic growth is booming because the population demographic is much healthier. So I think this is a market that everyone wants something from there. So UAE is growing, and then they also want to boost the tourism and also integrated resorts. I guess this is about also like a growth story from Indian markets.
India.
Yeah.
So India is a topic.
I think so.
There's an opportunity. It's 1 billion people.
Yeah, and Singapore is
China.
also trying to make some boost their tourism from Indian market as well. And they say something like, they have been doing a lot of efforts to attract these Indians to travel there. Say they introduced this like a mobile device, the payment system. They can let like Indians to pay their own cars in Singapore. So they are facilitating a lot of things so that like Indians can spend money freely like when they travel overseas, like Singapore. So I think it's not really only about the Chinese traveling around, but it's also about like a long-term planning. We should be thinking about the Indians traveling out.
Well, to bring this interview back around from where we started,
yeah.
For the planners in Thailand, they must get excited when they're hearing you, because Thailand, if you go there, you'll see the tourists. There's a lot of people from India.
Yeah.
A lot of people from China.
Yeah.
Now, whether tourists want to go to the casino in Thailand, that's probably one question. But the reality is, it attracts already a lot of tourists from both of those countries.
Yes, there are a lot like natural resources they can utilize. Macau is like a place that has a lot like nice resorts, but still like they don't have that big beaches they can go, right? But if you talk about Thailand, you can go diving and beaches and every other thing. So it's also a very famous place for hospitality. So I'm pretty sure that Thailand has its own things to offer, but also there are some other challenges as we addressed earlier, like how are you going to differentiate from those already existing resorts in Philippines or Cambodia and Vietnam, and how you don't want to repeat those like some toughness that these places went through.
Angela, thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone, Angela's contact information will be listed in the description to this interview, in the video, or on the podcast. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you